welcome to Krambamble, a podcast about supernatural, extraterrestrial, extra-political, intra-political, and ghosts. That's right, guys. Lots and lots of ghosts.
I do like the ghosts.
My name's Taz.
And I'm Kirsten.
We're going to be talking about ghosts, but wait till the end of the episode. That's where we're going to keep them. Shh. I found out that people listen to our podcast more if there's ghost something in the title.
Oh, right. Ghost. Okay.
I mean, we're totally going to be talking about ghosts at the end of the episode.
Is if you could capture ghosts and then make jam out of them.
Save it till the end of the episode. So just like YouTube videos, they'll listen till the end.
Wait. Okay, so I'll give you the recipe at the end of the episode.
Ooh.
But I just, for a title of a show, I would be like, we can make jam out of ghosts and then we can put it on some toast. Then we have toast ghost.
Oh, toast ghosts.
Yep, and that way people will listen because they're like, oh, I wonder what toast ghost is. They're going to be super disappointed because I just said that you can make jam out of ghosts.
What if there's
ectoplasm? That's a thing.
Yes, ectoplasm is allegedly a thing. So it's ghost jam?
Yeah, you boil it up with some sugar and some pectin, like you do normal jam.
What is pectin?
I think it's from, I always got it from lemons.
You're looking that way while talking instead of looking at the microphone.
I got it from lemons.
From lemons.
Yeah, lemon juice. I think it's got pectin in it, but it helps the jelly set. Or jam jelly.
What if you had a ghost in the house that every time 2 or more people were standing around with drinks, this ghost would just start making toasts?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Just his unfinished business. He died before he could give the final toast at his daughter's wedding.
The ghost of Gatsby. He's like, oh, it's a party. Here's my toast, guys. You're like, oh, God, it's Gatsby again. If you don't let him finish, he's going to keep talking.
Gatsby the Ghost is such a good name.
I have no doubt at some point, one of those, why can I not think of the word? One of those streaming services is going to make some butchered version of it because the movie was decently successful, like the old one and the new one.
Yeah.
And the book is just pumped out in the thousands.
Oh, as in like a Netflix
of the Great Gatsby.
12 episode Great Gatsby.
But they'll tweak it or something. So it's like, it's a modern day thing where Gatsby is helping a detective or someone solve crimes or some nonsense like that.
Oh, what? That sounds terrible.
And they'll call it Gatsby's Toast. Looking at you, Hulu. You still no idea. I'm going to find you.
They're going to call it Gatsby's Toast.
Gatsby's Toast. Toast ghost. So you know the old folk tales of the wee folk that would steal babies? Changelings?
Yes. Yeah, this comes up in conversation a lot.
Have we really?
Yeah, no, just when we talk.
Oh.
Yeah, we talk about changelings a lot.
I do like the concept of the changelings.
Me too. Especially, I think, just for the terrified nature of, let's say, as a mum, you have a baby and it starts acting really weird.
Yeah.
And then your neighbour says, you've got to pretend to kill it because it's a bad goblin pretending to be your baby. But what if she's wrong? Like, that is the most terrifying thing. You've got to start at put boiling water on it, or you've got to try and kill this thing.
There were a whole bunch of weird things,
like put it in the oven and stuff.
Yeah.
But what if it's still your baby? Like, what if you're wrong and it's just a kid who's grumpy?
Well, there were no child services back then, so I'm sure there were a lot of children that were, unfortunately, the
recipients of some parental witch finding.
The collateral damage of wives' tales.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good title for a book. Collateral damage of wives' tales, and have all these stories about people that are killed because of these cures and whatnot.
That would be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless there was already...
What was, just so we can recap for the listeners who aren't as well-versed in changelings.
Well-versed in changeling lore.
As we are. So what were some of the ways that you could get rid of the changeling? Because what they did was they came in, stole your baby.
Yes.
And replaced it with like an old creepy hobgoblin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
it would look just enough like your baby that you wouldn't be sure what was going on.
I think it changed depending on the region because it was in the Isles, so Ireland, Scotland, parts of England where that story was prevalent. But there are also African communities that have similar stories about changelings as well.
Really?
Yeah. I was looking it up when I was doing our Monster of the Week episode.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but one of them, the one that always got me the most, was hanging iron scissors above the cradle by ribbon.
Oh, man, no.
Because, that's not going to go wrong. But yeah, the other one was, there was a whole story about boiling up a soup and a stew and the baby would be like, what are you doing, mother? Well, I'm just preparing a stew. Oh, what are you adding to it, mother? And they hated eggshells, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to put eggshells in it. And it makes the stew delicious. And then this thing couldn't stand the smell of boiled eggshells?
Something like that. And I think the whole concept was so very creepy that the child would speak to you like an adult. And so that's how you would definitely know. And I think also taking it, putting it in the oven was one as well.
Yeah.
I think taking it out to like the fairy mounds and demanding the child back in exchange for what they put there. But the type of creature that they would put in its place varied, I think, based on the region. So sometimes it was like a hobgoblin or like an old infirm fae that wanted to be kind of looked after by a carer in the twilight of its life. And some of them would just like shape-shifting changeling kind of things. But the reason I brought it up, and it's funny that you put a mother's take on it because the whole concept is, oh, my baby's been stolen, I need to get it back and get rid of this horrible little creature. And it reminds me of Eddie Kaspbrak's mum from It, where she's really overbearing and she stops him from doing...
Oh, that's so true.
She stops him from doing fun things.
You're delicate, Eddie.
Yeah, because some of the stories would say that the human child that was taken would get to live in the Fae realm
and it was
for all eternity,
lovely.
and would party and eat delicious foods. What if a really selfish mother is taking that child away from potentially one of the greatest experiences that a human can have? Because
I think the folklore I heard was that they were slaves over there. They did all the menial tasks.
Well, that's
for
possible
the Fae.
as well, yeah.
Yeah, but it would be very funny if it was like heaven.
Yeah.
And this kid's having the best time, like learning magics.
I could have been Peter Pan, Mom.
Yeah.
But the other side of it is, what if one of those Fae creatures that was put in the place of a human was going to do something amazing with their future? What if that Fae creature was going to cure cancer? But Eddie Kaspbrak's mum was like, I want my baby back.
But I'm thinking the opposite way. How many mums didn't figure out that their baby was a changeling?
Yeah.
And they raised this child as like, what, a full-grown centaur or whatever it was going to be?
Oh, that'd be cool. What if being a centaur wasn't something that you were automatically, but you could transform into it, like werewolves and things?
Yeah, if you were born Fae and brought into the real world and raised in a normal people family, you would end up half Fae, half human.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you'd end up like either a centaur or, you know, those half splits?
Yeah.
Like that's where mermaids come from.
Yes.
That'd be cool. Where you're like half human, half Fae.
What if...
Wait, Kirsten, does that mean that horses and fish are full Fae?
It could be. They're very magical. There's some weird fish that you're just like, that's not... Like you're saying, Joe Rogan and octopus. They're aliens. What if they're Fae
aliens,
creatures?
Man. Aliens.
What if they're Fae creatures that are just like stuck in our mortal world and they're like, I didn't have to swim in the Fae realm. I could just walk around.
I honestly, if there was ever going to be any animal that is Fae, I reckon dolphins and whales. They just seem like they're on another wavelength.
Tortoises.
Yeah, turtles. Turtles and tortoises.
All of them. They are quite long-lived.
And old trees.
They are long-lived, and we don't see them being super brutal.
Livid? Isn't it long-lived?
Oh, we had this before, didn't we?
Because livid is like when something's really red. You know, I slap you and his face went livid.
Yes, that's how I pronounce long-lived. Long-lived.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
Oh, we have discussed this before, and I was like, how long is your liver?
Long-livered.
Yeah.
What a complex man. That's me. What if that is the case?
Yeah.
Where...
Oh, what? All the propositions I've just made?
Absolutely. Yes, okay, fair point. What if the Fae existing in human society and breeding with humans is a thing, and whether or not it's no longer a matter of... Because there was that article on Reddit, or wherever it was from originally, where someone was talking about what if Fae creatures did exist, but they bred with humans, which is why some people are very good at swimming. Some people are very good at climbing, and some people are amazing singers.
Just astronomically, like, beyond the realms of human endurance. Like, that incredible marathon runner that was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, so all those things that outside of what we would consider a norm... I'm doing air quotations, a normal human's purview or ability, you go, that can't be... Like Usain Bolt. This dude runs fast, so fast where he's like the Flash, where he turns and looks at the camera exactly as he's taking a photo of him and smiles, and he's not blurred. That's got to be some sort of Fae influence. What if all that exists?
But not even, like, just physical things. Just incredible intellect as well. Just being, and also knowing of the Fae world. So I think some of the incredible writers in the fantasy realm, you know, like your Terry Pratchett's or Neil Gaiman's, like, they are half Fae, definitely, because they've got, like, latent knowledge of the Fae realm.
Like that real kind of Fae bar talent.
Yeah.
Where they can just weave a story where you get sucked into it and you're like, oh my God, this is the best.
Like Stephen King.
Ridiculously good singers might have had siren.
Oh,
DNA.
that's cool.
Or divas, like the angelic divas.
Yep.
Or deva, I can't remember how it's pronounced. But the singing angels, like the seraphim. All those kinds of things. Okay, so what if all that does exist? Those things exist in our DNA and our nice little DNA testing kits that we send off. Obviously, they're not going to tell people, hey, you have DNA marker 23, if that's a thing, which is, we know for a fact that is angelic DNA. We know that this particular genetic marker, 16B, is Fae.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if there was, okay, because I'm thinking of it from a purely scientific point of view, right?
Yes.
So I'm in my lab and we've just discovered that most people that were born in a particular area had this genetic marker, right?
Okay, yeah.
So, I don't know, let's pick a random place like Ireland, because that seems pretty spiritual and like they have lots of gateways to the Fae.
For sure.
You know, with your fairy mounds and your things.
Makes sense.
So, anyone, absolutely anyone, like they could have actually found the, help me out here, the Fae marker, like you're talking about.
Yes.
But they would have just mistaken it for Irish DNA.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? You'd be like, you come from this, because you know how when I got the Irish thing, they're like, you come from this really tiny island in Ireland.
Oh, it was too. It was like off to the side.
Yeah, really bizarre. And it's like, it's not that you actually have ancestors that came from there. That's the Fae DNA and everybody who comes from there. And that's why it would be really weird if you were like Cambodian. And you're like, why do I have a random Irish piece of DNA? Oh, well, bizarre, because you know how I got the 1% Cambodian.
Yes.
Maybe it's the fact that...
You've got like some witch. Some
yeah,
witch.
exactly. It's not actually Irish. That's your Fae DNA.
Oh.
Yeah, but the scientists wouldn't have known because they don't go and look at the people. They just look at the data.
Maybe that Fae creature or supernatural creature is more prevalent in Cambodia, so people who have Cambodian DNA... I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe certain people don't have a genetic predisposition to alcoholism. They're really just dwarves.
That makes
they do like their ale and their beer, and that's why they always assume.
But that's also oh god damn it! Don't you hate when you have the perfect word?
Happens to me all the time.
Absolutionist, I think.
I'm unfamiliar with this term.
Well, where you can't change because you just it's almost an absolutist. Where, let's say you need to give up your alcoholism and have a happy life, like many people have. You go, nope, sorry, dwarf DNA. Can't do it. Can't go against my DNA. You know what I mean? Where you're like, nope.
Like super stubborn.
Yeah. So you're an absolutist where you're just like, nope, can't happen.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I hope I'm using that correctly.
Look, you get one for every 5 that I have, because I'm pretty sure I've tried to remember terms and I haven't looked them up on my phone. I've been completely off the mark. I'm surprised we haven't got any negative reviews for my inappropriate use of words.
I don't think there's grammaticists listening to our
someone
podcast.
Out there.
Just cringing, going, you meant to say Freudian.
Trevor from Arkansas is listening. He's like, you got that wrong. Write in iTunes reviews.
I've always loved the idea that somebody with that accent could be like a English professor.
Ooh.
That would just make me it would make me laugh. I would love that. Could you imagine someone with that accent giving lectures on English?
I want someone with that accent teaching Shakespeare.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, I would love that so much. I would go there and audit that class just to hear it. To be or not to be.
To suffer the slings and arrows. Hark, from yonder window doth the sun break. What do you think that means, Cecil?
Sorry, I need to cough.
Oh, you've ruined the podcast. We're going to have to start over again.
There we go.
Back in the day when they had like actual recordings that they couldn't edit quite as easily and they had to have it perfect from start to finish.
Yeah, exactly. You would have to start
the old
from the beginning.
recording. Good job, Rupert. Now we've got to start again.
Yes. What?
Violently shatters the vinyl. That was very expensive. That was 3 pennies.
That's a year's salary. Anyway. She said with absolutely no economic backing.
I'm going to sell another slave now to buy more of those. Well, they did have slaves back then. They weren't the best people morally.
You say back then. You can just use that about any piece of history.
That's
when
true.
was that exactly, Taz? Oh, back then.
1793. It was autumn.
There was still snow on the ground, but there was a chill in the air. Now,
Autumn's before winter. Why is there snow in autumn?
it could be. It could be.
Backwards land.
Yes, in backwards
We
land.
go from winter to autumn.
Well, it is backwards to us.
Lovely. The leaves going from their dappled amber to a lighter shade of green. Spring is cometh.
Oh, okay.
I know. Backwards land.
All right, backwards land, backwards land, backwards land, backwards land.
Okay.
You can go as back as you
Stop touching the microphone.
I had to move it towards my mouth.
That's why at the start of the episode I have you positioned in such a way that is comfortable.
Shush. Gargoyles.
Ooh, the cartoon series?
No.
Oh, I did like that show.
It was a good show. Really good.
Apparently
the fact that
more
I can
for
still
adults than
remember,
children.
yeah.
I think was it M or PG? I can't remember.
I don't know.
think it
I
was
was a
adults.
child when I watched it though, so I can't say if it was better for adults or children.
I presume you're speaking more of the gothic gargoyles, though.
Yes.
Yes.
But the fact that I used to remember, and they were all the gargoyles in the show were named after rivers in America.
I honestly don't recall, but
There
that's
was
cool.
Hudson, and that's the only one I can
Really?
remember right now. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
that's
pretty
cool.
sure they were named after the rivers.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, no, gargoyles, which a lot of people think are the creepy things on the side of buildings, the carved monstrous.
Are they not?
There's two types.
Okay.
One is called a grotesque,
Oh.
and they are just the carved horrible creatures that are stuck onto the side.
Okay, gotcha.
But an actual gargoyle has to be a water spout because it comes from, I think, the Latin root or a French for gargouille, which means throat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they are water spouts. So, you know, in like a downpipe.
Yeah.
So, because the roofs used to be so ornately designed, they'd need a way to get the water off the roof
Makes sense.
and not running down the side of the building. So it would sort of pool into the guttering, and then to get it to shoot away from the building, they used the gargoyle so the water would pour out of their mouths.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Now, you're like, who cares, Kirsten? This is not Architecture Monthly. I don't need to know about this stuff. What's this got to do with some creepy cool stuff?
Okay.
Well, the theory was back in the day.
Back when day is this? What day is this?
1552.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a myth. You don't pinpoint dates in myths.
You don't.
A long time ago,
Oh.
in a land far away,
Yes.
which is true because it's far away from Australia. I believe it was in France.
Everywhere's far away from Australia. Other towns are far away from
Yeah, I was going
Australia.
to say. Other states are far away.
My best friend lives in this suburb. It's 2 countries away as far as Europe's concerned.
Well, I mean, America would have the same thing. Actually, that's a really good example.
true.
I went camping day before yesterday, and I drove 2.5 hours away from our house, and I was still in the same state.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Whereas you do that in, like, Europe, and you're in another country.
Yeah, you do that in America or Europe, it's a road trip.
Yeah.
We're crossing county lines.
I don't know. I think America's big enough that you could drive for 2 hours and still be in the same state.
That's true. Although I do think when we were reading our little book to the northwest, it's a lot more condensed for a lot of those smaller states, I think. I could be wrong.
It did look that way on the
If I'm
map.
wrong, send us on our socials, guys. Let me know.
Send us tickets to America so we can discover it for ourselves.
Yes. Tickets are probably... Oh, no, there's a travel ban. Have we got a travel ban in Australia yet?
No, God, no. Our Prime Minister's like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, if we have a travel ban, then he won't be able to go to Hawaii again.
Yeah.
Yeah. New Zealand's done it.
Yeah, I think New Zealand's done it. My
Travel
boss just went over to there.
Pretty sure she locked it down. I read about it this morning.
Whoa, okay.
Anyway, gargoyles.
Yes.
Gargoyle.
So the mythical history was
Strap in, guys.
that there was a massive beast, let's say very dragon-like,
Okay.
and it used to breathe fire, so that's why I thought very dragon-like.
Makes sense.
And
Or a salamander, which
could
you
be,
learnt
could
out
be.
recently.
yes, so they caught it and killed it.
Aww.
Because, no, it was being awful and causing destruction to property and people. Yes. So they caught it and killed it. And so they stabbed it and then they burnt it to, get rid of the evil thing. But
Okay.
because it breathed fire, its head and neck wouldn't burn.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, actually, the more you think about it, you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because it was fireproof. So that's all that was left. So they mounted it onto the side of a building of one of the churches to ward off evil spirits.
Okay, like a head on a pike. I like it.
And that's why they used to use them as water spouts, because they noticed that the water would pool and jet out of its mouth, and that's why they used them more in architecture. They built them out of stone because they looked very cool, and they did ward off the spirits. Now, what I'm thinking is, because all our buildings at the moment don't have any gargoyles or grotesques to ward off the evil spirits,
we kill people.
That's why we have this floods, fires, coronavirus.
Ooh.
Yep. Because we're not using the old ways.
True.
To ward off all these evil spirits.
Okay, so we need heads on the... Does it need to be on every corner of the building?
Well, where you would have a downpipe is where you would have a gargoyle.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it would shoot the water out. This is the terrible thing, though. So if it rained and you were walking down the street...
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You'd just get this torrent of water.
I think if the torrent is that thick, though, you would see it walking... And you would step to the side.
Yeah, true. Well, that's why they shot out from the building. So if you're walking down below...
Unless you're the village idiot.
It would go into the road.
All right, so I need 4 human skulls for each corner of this house.
And it has to have a long neck. That's the whole point of it.
Oh.
And that's why they use... The grotesques are usually like lions without its forearms or dragon heads in
human
particular.
Human torso, then. I can just kind of...
Oh, that's creepy as heck. I love it.
And then the arms dangle?
No, the arms could be supporting it like that against the wall.
Oh, okay.
So it would be... I'm going to go and do a demonstration for Taz.
Yes.
So it would be...
On this audio medium.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Riveting. I like it.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I might put a picture up so you guys can look and go,
Similar to the
that's what she was
figureheads
doing.
on ships.
Yes, okay.
If anyone's imagining.
That's what I was doing. Yeah,
So
figurehead
the
on a
arms
ship.
weren't raised up the way they did for the pendulous breast mermaid figureheads.
I don't think they were pendulous. They were very perky. Pendulous is swinging like a pendulum.
Well, I think pendulous would look perky if you had your arms stretched up above you.
Oh, I suppose so.
Yes. Pendulous
Dr.
mermaid
Physics.
figurehead breasts. Okay, so we need 4 humans of equal size, because they'll rot eventually, so they don't need to look the same. And that's going to ward off evil from this house.
Very human centipede for me.
No, I'm not going to attach them to each other. I'm just going to cut them off the torso and attach them to the corners of my house so I can have the water spout running through their throat.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
I'm going to need to install PVC tubing in the throat so as they decompose, it doesn't break down, so it's still a tube.
So when they are all decomposed and gone, it would just be bones on a PVC pipe?
But I also think that I want to go a little bit more for Native American as well, so I need a totem pole in the front yard. Also going with the theme of human bodies, this is where we're going to go centipede. We're going to start stacking them up and make a nice totem pole in the front yard.
So would the pole go through like anus to mouth or for the totem, or would you be stacking them sort of shish kebab style through the tummy?
Shish kebab style, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you could stack more that way.
Absolutely.
That would make more sense.
Yeah. Well, I figure the more people I have piked to one giant wooden stake in my front yard, that's going to warn off a lot of people. I think
And
10?
it would also matter, like, the stages you killed them.
True.
So if you killed, say 10 in one go, you'd have them all sort of disintegrating or decomposing at exactly the same time.
Yes.
But I think the weight of fresh ones, say you got about 20, but you only did maybe 2 a week.
Ooh, I'm going to need resin.
So there'd be like bone crushings at the bottom?
Yes. Okay, well, I'll buy a lot of resin. I'll pour it over them like a honey glaze. It'll be like a honey glaze kebab.
Okay.
And that will essentially seal over the outside of them. So when they do decompose on the inside, I'll still have kind of like this weird crystalline...
That would smell. Like your house is going to be really rank.
Yes. It's to warn people off in the post-apocalyptic future. I want them to know that I'm not to be trifled with.
I would have it further away from my abode, not hanging on my house.
Fine. It's pretty breezy out there.
Yeah, front yard, but you want to attach people to your roof.
But I mean, that's the other thing. Once we get to a post-apocalyptic stage where we're raiding our neighbours, we can extend that totem pole out further to start establishing our territory.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
See? I think that visual marker, that visual representation
of this is my territory. Do you think that's where totem poles came from?
I don't think they were... Well, I think there probably were a couple of tribes that were that brutal. I don't think it was quite as macabre for them. I think it was their spirit animals and they had the different stacks of the totem poles.
Yeah, because they were animals. They were, eagles.
I do like the traditional totem poles. They look very cool.
I like the moose ones because the others look so...
Would that be Inuit then?
I have no idea. But you do see the normal totem poles with the eagle head. And
yes.
they look very sort of regal. But then the mooses just look comical. I don't know what it is, but a carved moose head just looks funny.
I must not have seen one.
And maybe it was because of Bullwinkle.
I think that's a factor as well, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know, moose to me are funny.
They are, until you see the bulls.
Oh, until you see an actual moose and how massive
And
they
they're
are.
battling.
And then they also look like spirit animals.
They do.
They look like something majestic and just...
Have you seen that video of the two younger bulls battling in like a suburb in Canada or Alaska? And the guy filming is like, get off the lawn! Ma! Look, they're fighting! It's like they're scrabbling over like the icy road trying to butt against each other.
Yep.
And it's the funniest thing because it's very Canadian. He's like, get off the lawn!
That is very funny.
Totem
I don't know why
poles.
there was also that one with the beaver and the man was helping the beaver get a piece of stick off the road.
Oh, yes.
That was adorable. I
Yes.
love that.
I could go a pet beaver.
We saw a woman who was feeding her pet beaver probably something really terrible for it.
Could it be maple syrup cookies?
That cannot be good for a beaver, a wild animal.
Maybe it's a treat, though. I think the beaver is like the North American capybara.
Yeah.
They seem super chill,
And tasty.
apparently.
Well, capybaras are meant to be pretty tasty.
Oh, apparently beavers are. Apparently
Are
their tails got very good fat deposits.
I've heard of beaver tails as like not an actual food. You know how we eat bear claws?
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so bear claws are just like a pastry or a donut kind of thing. And so are beaver tails. They're like covered in honey. They're like deep fried dough.
Okay, if there's anybody who's eaten a beaver tail or some
I
product
wouldn't
that's
have
called
thought
beaver
they'd
tail,
be particularly tasty.
send it into our socials.
They look
krambamblepodcast at gmail.com or our Twitter, krambamble.
Or just comment on one of my Instagram photos
Yes.
at krambamblepodcast.
Yeah, do that. Let us know, guys.
Because, I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure bear claws and beaver tails are like
Bear
a
claws,
donut.
I know that they're a donut. Beaver tails, they could be, I just don't know.
I just remember covered in honey. You know when you've got that voice in your head?
Adhesive medical strips.
Adhesive medical strips indeed.
So, Kirsten, ghosts.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Ghosts.
Ghost toast.
Yeah, ghosts are pretty cool. This has been Krambamble. My name's Taz.
And I'm Kirsten.
Catch you later, guys.
Bye.